Hello and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Coffee and Cartridges. Today we're just going to talk about guns, talk about bullets, and drink some coffee. So I guess the thing I want to talk about today is the scarcity of ammo. I understand the law of supply and demand, and I get that from the time that people thought there was a chance that the new administration coming in would possibly try to ban guns and outlaw the Second Amendment, things like that, there began to be fear that that might happen. And so they decided, if I'm gonna have enough bullets, powder, cases, guns, scopes, whatever, I probably should get them now and hold on to them. Maybe overbuy, maybe hoard, so that I can make sure I have enough for the rest of my life and for my kids, whatever the case. We went through a similar thing during the years of Obama. And this is not to get political, but just happened to be that people thought that the Democratic Party and Obama was going to take away guns, and some of them did try. So during the years of Obama, you could not get a 22. You could not go to the store and buy a 22. And as soon as retailers got in 22, there was a line at 6 o'clock in the morning to buy all of them. And retailers had to put limits on what you could buy because the first person would have just literally buy everything. Well, now in 2022, something similar is going on, but it is different. I have seen in my local Walmart where there's not a 12 gauge shell on the shelves. And back in the previous time, in 2008 to 2012, that was, and I guess even earlier, 2004 to 2012, there was plenty of shotgun shells. Like, that was never an issue, never a problem. A little bit of scarcity on centerfire rifle ammunition here and there, but not a whole lot. You could pretty much get 30-06 and 270 and 7 mag whenever you wanted. 22s you couldn't find. And I remember powder and primers and all the reloading components being hard to find. Guns, for the most part, you could still find, but there was some hard ones to get. But in 2022, there's times you go to the store, you can't find a 12 gauge shell, you can't find, like if you see a 30-06 on the shelf, you're thinking, oh my gosh, they have bullets in, And of course, 22 is still kind of scarce, but it seems to not be as big of a deal. In theory, you would assume they bought all the 22s for a lifetime back in the last decade. But whatever you think about all that, it's just the reality of the issue, whether it's justified fear or unjustified fear, it's happening. So it causes your demand to go up, and then things are just finite, and certain things cannot be produced to meet that demand, and so supply is low. And I understand that, but it is still aggravating, I recently bought a 270 short mag, and I cannot find brass for it anywhere in the world. What I mean by that is online. I don't care what online retailer that you go to, you're not going to find 270 WSM brass. 300 WSM brass, or any WSM brass. And when you do find it, because I technically have found it, it's so overpriced, it's ridiculous. I have seen Nosler 270 short mag brass, just the brass, for 20 or 25, for like $80 for 20 brass, just the cases. That's $4 for the case. So forget about the powder, the primer, the bullet. So when you do see them, they're insane prices. The reason they're insane prices is because people will know they can sell them at pretty much whatever the price that they want because the demand is so high. If certain parts of the world, or not parts of the world, but certain parts of commerce whether it's, you know, like say there's a new movie that I want to watch and I want to watch this new Blu-ray movie. Those can be reproduced at such a rate. There's billions of them out there. And I'm going to find that Blu-ray, if it's a new release, for relatively cheap and definitely easy to find. And you can go down the list of different products and categories, and it's pretty easy to find a lot of that stuff. When it comes to guns and ammo and scopes and reloading components, good luck. It's pretty aggravating. Your first thought is to say, why don't the companies make more? Why don't they produce it faster? That's your knee-jerk reaction. I have the same reaction. It appears, from what I understand, that they're producing it as fast as they can. In fact, they've ramped up production to levels they've never seen before. Also, the other part of the story was we're in the middle, or hopefully not the middle, hopefully we're at the end of a pandemic. And this COVID-19 virus has disrupted the entire world, whether it's supply chains, whether it's, you know, manufacturing, whatever. So that's another part of this. So there could be, you know, a plant producing powder or making new rifles, and they're just short-staffed because people are sick and people are out and they're trying to social distance, whatever the case. So I can understand it, but it doesn't make it any less frustrating. If I want a certain rifle, let's just say today I have the money, I'm ready to make the purchase, and I just want to leave my house and go to a nearby gun store and either buy it right there or put the order in for, let's just say, a 280 Ackley improved and a Browning X-Bolt. The odds are I'm not going to find it. The odds are I will not find it. And I mean, if I keep on and asking around and making calls and checking all the online retailers, eventually I will find it. Eventually I will. It might take a long time, you know, and it's probably going to be overpriced. My best odds are probably to go on Gunbroker every single day until I finally find that particular gun, and I bid and probably end up paying too much for it. So I'm not saying it's impossible to get stuff. For instance, of everything, it seems like gunpowder is the worst. I mean, good grief, if I want to get H-4350, good luck. Like, does it even exist anymore? It feels like it doesn't. Have they stopped making it? I know they haven't, but good grief, you can't find it. Unless you go to like Gunbroker and pay, I don't know, $300 for this very small amount of it. So it's just pretty frustrating in 2022 to look at this. If it's a shortage, if it's the pandemic, if it's the fear, supply and demand issue, whatever it might be, or the combination of all. It's aggravating. You just can't get stuff you want. You know, if you want a certain scope, forget about it. You can't get it. I cannot find 270 short mag brass anywhere in the world right now. And I understand that if you're a company that manufactures brass and you sell, you know, let's just say 40% of your, you know, gross sales are from 223, 556, and then 20% from 308 and 20% from 65, Creedmoor and PRC, and then the last 10% of your, you know, of your sales are from these more niche or not as popular calibers that you're not going to be inclined to, you know, stop everything, halt the whole factory and make 270 brass so everyone in this country that wants 270 brass can get it. I understand that. You have to focus on the stuff that you're selling the most, and there's nothing wrong with that. Went to my local Bass Pro just a short time ago. They have plenty of 308 bullets, tons of 5.56. The majority of both those calibers bullets are a full metal jacket, you know, but they did have some other stuff. But it's just impossible to find anything. It's pretty aggravating. So that's just the first thing. I guess kind of a rant. Just aggravating that if I decide I want something and I have the money to get it, I literally cannot find it. It's upsetting. Next question or thought would be, is it ever going to improve? You would assume it would have to. You know, once again, not trying to get political, but at some point, something's got to give, and we'll probably get back to a time where it's hopefully easier to get some of this stuff. But I'm not concerned. I'm not certain of that. It's possible that certain things are going to happen, and the laws are going to change, and we might not be able to get this stuff ever again, or it might never be as accessible as it used to be, which is what most people are thinking. That's why they're going and buying everything. I've literally seen people go to a gun store, ask them what cartridges they have on the shelf, and they'll say, you know, 350 Legend, 7mm Odd 8, XYZ, and they don't have a gun for any of those, but they'll say, I'll take them all. For trade, just to trade other people. That's how crazy it's getting, that they're gonna buy cartridges and bullets and whatever the case, maybe even guns for, you know, bullets and cartridges and calibers for guns they don't even have, to trade other people. I mean, it's just crazy. It's insane that we're at this point. So, pretty aggravating. So this has kind of been negative. Let's have a more positive ending. Let's have another topic here. You know, a lot of new calibers and cartridges are coming out, which is pretty cool. It's really neat for me to see the 277, you know, caliber getting a lot of love. The 6.8 Western, the 277 Fury, 270 Nosler. So it's just pretty cool, pretty cool. Overall, since 2007, it's just been neat to see companies, whether you like the Creedmoor or you don't, kind of starting with the Creedmoor, people have been thinking more about long range and faster twist rates and heavier ballistic coefficient bullets, and they've been designing rifles and chambers around that philosophy and for longer range shooting, because that's become more popular. So that, I think that's pretty cool. So it's interesting to see for sure. Which also makes me wonder, as all these new cartridges come in, is it going to push old ones out? With all these new 270 or 6.8 caliber cartridges coming in, is it going to push the old 270 Winchester out of the, you know, ecosystem of calibers and all that? I don't think so, but it's probably definitely going to diminish it. I think the 270 short mag, once again, I just bought, probably on its way out. I think all the WSMs are going to go away except for the 300. I think the 6.8 Western will be the replacement for the 270 short mag. Since I hand load, eventually when I can actually get components, it's not a big deal to me. But I do think a lot of these new cartridges and calibers will push out the old, which is what's been happening forever, you know. Look back in the 20s and 30s and 40s, and you had calibers like the 250 3000 Savage and the 300 Savage and the 220 Swift, and you know, the 257 Roberts, and a lot of cool, you know, cartridges that are just gone because other things came along that pushed them out of the way. It's just competition, just capitalism. It's just the market, just the private market doing its thing. So it's not a big deal, but it just makes you wonder what cartridges are going to be pushed out. I think the 270 short mag for sure. Makes me wonder about some of the other ones. It makes you wonder, will the 30-06 ever be pushed out? It's held on for so long. 30-30, 45-70, these cartridges are way old. 130, 40 years old. So it's just amazing that we can still get some of these. Is there going to come a time where the interest in lever action is so small that that action goes away? I don't think so. I think people like to plink and hunt in thick woods, and I think that the Henry rifles are extremely popular, so I don't see that happening. Just makes you wonder though. So if you happen to watch this, what are your comments on this crisis that we're going in, this ammo shortage that's happening, and this gun shortage. I mean, what are your thoughts? Are you as frustrated as I am? Or do you feel like we're just around the corner and it's all going to turn around and be awesome? Or do you think it's never going to get better and it's going to get worse? Leave your comments. Or do you like all the new cartridges that are coming in? Or do you think it's going to push out older, better cartridges? What's your thoughts on that? So either way, leave a comment below. And I hope you have a wonderful day. And until the next time, talk to you later.